Back when we did the lesson on Cain, I made the comment that God rejected Cain's sacrifice because it wasn't the right kind of sacrifice. And I had a lot of people comment and tell me that I was wrong and that God wasn't petty. That was one of the comments that was made. God's not petty. Cain was rejected because of what was in Cain's heart. And even though Cain was rejected because of what was in Cain's heart, God also rejected the sacrifice. Okay? It says, "But unto Cain and to his sacrifice he had not respect." God rejected both. Okay? And so the scripture does say, without the shedding of blood, there is no remission. If you look in the book of Leviticus, you see that all of the offerings that were being made to atone for sin, whether that's for the Day of Atonement, or you're dealing with trespass offerings, sin offerings, that kind of thing, they all had to deal with something innocent is taking my place. Okay? And so that's a theme all throughout the scriptures. Anyway, this person made the comment that God wasn't petty, and my response to that, and I don't always respond to these comments. In fact, I rarely ever do, because I work 45 plus hours a week and starting a church, and I'm doing this as well, and also have a family, and I have other projects that I'm doing as well. I'm pretty busy. But anyway, the comment was, God's not petty. My response was, no, he's not petty, but he is particular. He's very particular about the way that we approach him. Jesus says, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me." There's only one way to the Father. Okay? So today's lesson actually brings us right to this point. And I've spent a minute and a half on introduction, and I don't have very much time to actually do the lesson. But in Leviticus, where are we at? Leviticus chapter 10. We deal with the sons of Aaron, Nadab and Abihu. Now they go into the tabernacle, and what the scripture says, they present a strange fire before the Lord. And the fire went out from the Lord and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. So the Lord takes them out because they approached him in a way that he did not ask them to, and he did not allow them to. Okay? And there are people who talk about, what did they do? What didn't they do? What was the problem here? But the moral of the story is, you can only approach God one way. That's it. And that's God's way. And we've already quoted the scripture. The only way to the Father is through Jesus Christ the Son. And so what sin does, sin tries to connive and find an alternate way. And it says, well, I preach good messages, or I give money to the poor, or I do this and I do that. Surely God's going to accept me. No, the only ground on which God is going to accept you is whether or not you are in a relationship with his Son. Okay? So sin makes religious service abominable.